AutoDig will not start if there was a transmission gear change in the last half second. AutoDig will not start within 2 seconds of a directional change or if the neutralizer is active. The lift and tilt levers must be centered in the hold position. If there are active fault codes, AutoDig may not work. Now that we've discussed the controls, let's operate AutoDig. We'll start with the automatic pile detection mode. This mode is used for most situations, providing smooth loading and a consistently full bucket. First, toggle the operation mode switch to the automatic pile detection setting. You will hear one beep, and the Auto 1 indicator will be illuminated on the dash. Choose the appropriate position on the dig mode selector. A good starting point may be a medium setting in the center of the adjustment range. Approach the pile with the bucket in dig position and the bucket controls in the center position. You will hear one beep when AutoDig begins loading the bucket and another beep when AutoDig has completed the bucket loading cycle. The bucket will rise to the AutoDig kickout height, or you may take control at this time. As we mentioned earlier, you may need to adjust the dig mode selector switch for the material you're loading. For some conditions, you may need to adjust the switch to a lighter setting. You can see with this material the bucket is fully loaded with a minimal amount of time spent in the pile. Adjusting to a heavier setting, the bucket goes into the pile of material, slows down, spends more time in the pile, working through the material to get a full bucket. Automatic pile detection is sensed in the same manner for all settings on the dig mode selector switch. Now, if desired, it's time to adjust the kickout height. To do this, position the linkage at the desired height and press the AutoDig kickout switch. You need to set the linkage above the loading height of AutoDig. If the linkage height is recorded properly, you will hear one beep. If you have tried to set the linkage too low, you will hear multiple beeps, and it will be necessary to raise the linkage to set it properly. If your machine is equipped with the Caterpillar Payload Control System, or PCS, the AutoDig kickout should not be set to occur in the way range. You can adjust either the AutoDig kickout height or the way range of PCS. AutoDig has been designed to get a full bucket every time. However, there are times when you only need a partially full bucket, such as topping off a truck or doing cleanup work. Activating the transmission neutralizer or shifting to neutral or reverse will interrupt the bucket loading cycle. This will cause the bucket to rack back quickly, resulting in a partial bucket fill raised to the AutoDig kickout. There may also be times when you want to take control of the lift and tilt functions. You can abort AutoDig at any time by moving the lift or tilt lever. If you abort the cycle in this manner, all automatic bucket movement stops. AutoDig may abort on its own due to tire spinning or not meeting initial loading conditions. If this occurs, the audible indicator will beep for a longer duration. After aborting, AutoDig may initiate another loading cycle if conditions permit, or the trigger switch may be used to activate the loading cycle in either of the operation modes. If AutoDig does not initiate a loading cycle after entering the pile, initial loading conditions have not been met, and you will need to correct them. There are times when loading is more difficult, and you will want to decide when to begin the loading cycle. For example, slippery or soft underfoot conditions, or with very light materials. The challenge here is to get a full bucket without breaking traction. Aggregate AutoDig Operator Trigger Mode can help accomplish this task. Operator Trigger Mode allows you to control when the loading cycle starts. To use Operator Trigger Mode, toggle the Operation Mode switch until you hear 2 beeps, and the Auto 2 indicator is illuminated on the dash. choose the appropriate position on the dig mode selector and approach the pile with the bucket in dig position. As you enter the pile, press the trigger switch when you want the bucket loading cycle to start. Any of the dig mode settings or adjustment procedures may be used in either the automatic pile detection mode or the operator trigger mode. Perhaps one of the pre-programmed modes is not optimized for your material. Or you may have perfected a loading technique and would like to use AutoDig to play back your own loading cycle. The Record Playback mode stores your personalized bucket loading cycle. To use the Record Playback mode, move the Dig Mode selector switch to the far right position, indicated by the small white dot. Toggle the Operation Mode switch until you hear 3 beeps, and the Record Mode indicator lights up on the dash. Position the machine facing toward the pile with the bucket in the dig position. Press the trigger switch to activate the Record Mode. The rapidly blinking Record Mode indicator lets you know the system is ready. After you've pressed the trigger switch, you have 20 seconds to make the first lever movement in your loading cycle. Once you start working the bucket control levers, the indicator light will blink slowly, and you have an additional 20 seconds to complete the recording. Enter the pile and load the bucket manually. After loading the bucket, make sure the lift and tilt linkages are in their final position and press the trigger switch again to complete the recording. If your cycle is successfully recorded, the operation mode will automatically return to the automatic pile detection mode. 1 beep will be heard, and the Auto 1 indicator will be illuminated. Your recorded cycle will be stored in the last position of the Dig Mode selector switch, indicated by the white dot. You can now play back the cycle in either the automatic or operator trigger mode. This stored cycle will remain until another loading cycle is successfully recorded over it. The record mode will capture the lowest gear used while loading the bucket. This same gear will be used when the recorded loading cycle is played back. If you are unsuccessful recording a cycle, you will hear a long beep. AutoDig will stay in the record mode, and the corresponding indicator will remain illuminated. Aggregate AutoDig is a revolutionary new feature that can function in a variety of aggregate materials. You will want to spend time trying out the different dig mode settings and operation modes to find the combinations of settings that work best for you. While using AutoDig, try using some of the tips we have offered in the video. With experience, you'll find yourself working with less effort and an even greater feeling of comfort and productivity.
I'd say give it a chance, give it a try. Put a mindset that it works well, and once you do get used to it, you're going to really appreciate having it. That's the feeling I got.
After 35 years, if you can make a better operator out of me, my hat's off to you. That's all I can say.